வணக்கம். Welcome to NCERT Biology Training. Class 11, Chapter 19, Excretory Products and their Elimination. Animals accumulate ammonia, urea, uric acid, carbon dioxide, water, and ions like sodium, potassium, chloride, phosphate, sulfate, etc. either by metabolic activities or by other means like excess ingestions. These substances have to be removed totally or partially. In this chapter, you will learn the mechanisms of elimination of these substances with special emphasis on common nitrogenous waste. Ammonia, urea, and uric acid are the major forms of nitrogenous wastes are excreted by the animals. Ammonia is the most toxic form and requires large amount of water for its elimination, whereas uric acid, being the least toxic, can be removed with a minimum loss of water. The process of excreting ammonia is ammonotelism. Many bony fishes, aquatic amphibians, and aquatic insects are ammonotelic in nature. Ammonia, as it is readily soluble, is generally excreted by diffusion across body surfaces or through gill surfaces in fish as ammonium ions. Kidneys do not play any significant role in its removal. Terrestrial adaptation necessitated the production of lesser toxic nitrogenous waste like urea and uric acid for conservation of water. Mammals, many terrestrial amphibians and marine fishes mainly excrete urea and are called ureotelic animals. Ammonia produced by metabolism is converted into urea in the liver of these animals and released into blood, which is filtered and excreted out by the kidney. Some amount of urea may be retained in the kidney matrix of some of these animals to maintain a desired osmolarity. Reptiles, birds, land snails, and insects excrete nitrogenous waste as uric acid in the form of pellet or paste with a minimum loss of water and are called uricotelic animals. A survey of animal kingdom presents a variety of excretory structures. In most of the invertebrates, these structures are simple tubular forms, whereas vertebrates have complex tubular organs called kidneys. Some of these structures are maintained here. Protonephridia or flame cells are the excretory structures in platyhelminths. Platyhelminths means flatworms. Example, planaria. Rotifers, some annelids, and the cephalochordates, Amphioxus, Protonephridia are primarily concerned with ionic and fluid volume regulation, that is, osmoregulation. Nephridia are the tubular excretory structures of earthworms and other annelids. Nephridia help to remove nitrogenous waste and maintain a fluid and ionic balance. Malpighian tubules are the excretory structures of most of the insects, including cockroaches. Malpighian tubules help in the removal of nitrogenous wastes and osmoregulation. Antennal glands or green glands perform the excretory function in crustaceans like prawns. 19.1 Human excretory system. In humans, the excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, one pair of ureters, a urinary bladder, and a urethra. Kidneys are reddish brown, bean-shaped structures situated between the levels of last thoracic and third lumbar vertebrae close to the dorsal inner wall of the abdominal cavity. Each kidney of an adult human measures 10 to 12 cm in length, 5 to 7 cm in width, 2 to 3 cm in thickness, with an average weight of 120 to 170 gram. Towards the center of the inner concave surface of the kidney is a notch called hilum, through which ureter, blood vessels, and nerves enter. Inner to the hilum is a broad funnel-shaped space called the renal pelvis with projections called calyces. The outer layer of the kidney is a tough capsule. Inside the kidney, there are two zones, an outer cortex and an inner medulla. The medulla is divided into few conical masses, medullary pyramids. Projecting into the calyces, single calyx, the cortex extends in between the medullary pyramids as renal columns called the columns of Bertini. Columns of Bertini. Each kidney has nearly 1 million complex tubular structures called nephrons, which are the functional units. Each nephron has two parts, the glomerulus and the renal tubule. Glomerulus is a tuft of capillaries formed by the afferent arteriole, a fine branch of renal artery. Blood from the glomerulus is carried away by an afferent arteriole. The renal tubules being with a double-walled cup-like structure called Bowman's capsule, which encloses the glomerulus. Glomerulus, along with Bowman's capsule, is called the Malpighian body or renal corpuscles. Figure 19.4. The tubule continues further to form a highly coiled network called proximal convoluted tubule. PCT. A hairpin-shaped Henle's loop is the next part of the tubule which has a descending and an ascending limb. The ascending limb continues as another highly coiled tubular region called the distal convoluted tubule DCT. The DCT of many nephrons open into the straight tube called the collecting duct, many of which converge and open into the renal pelvis through medullary pyramids in the calyces. The Malpighian corpuscles, PCT and DCT of the nephron are situated in the cortical region of the kidney, whereas the loop of the Henle dips into the medulla. In majority of nephrons, the loop of Henle is too short and extends only very little into the medulla. Such nephrons are called cortical nephrons. In some of the nephrons, the loop of Henle is very long and run deep into the medulla. These nephrons are called juxtamedullary nephrons. The efferent arteriole emerging from the glomerulus from a fine capillary network around the renal tubule called the peritubular capillaries. A minute vessel of this network runs parallel to the Henle's loop, forming U-shaped vasa recta. Vasa recta is absent in highly reduced in cortical nephrons. 19.2 Urine formation. Urine formation involves three main processes, namely glomerular filtration, reabsorption, and secretion, that takes place in different parts of the nephron. The first step in urine formation is the filtration of blood, which is carried out by the glomerulus and is called glomerular filtration. On an average, 1100 to 1200 ml of blood is filtered by the kidney per minute, which constitute roughly 1/5 of the blood pumped out by each ventricle of heart in a minute. The glomerular capillary blood pressure causes filtration of blood through three layers, that is, the endothelium of glomerular blood vessels, the epithelium of Bowman's capsule, and a basement membrane between these two layers. The epithelial cells of Bowman's capsule, called podocytes, are arranged in an intricate manner so as to leave some minute spaces called the filtration slits or slit ports. Blood is filtered so finely through these membranes that almost all the constituents of the plasma except the proteins pass on to the lumen of the Bowman's capsule. Therefore, it is considered as process of ultrafiltration. The amount of filtrate formed by the kidneys per minute is called glomerular filtration rate, GFR. GFR in a healthy individual is approximately 125 ml per minute, that is 180 liters per day. The kidneys have built-in mechanism for the regulation of the glomerular filtration rate. One such Efficient mechanism is carried out by juxtaglomerular apparatus JGA. JGA, juxtaglomerular apparatus, is a special sensitive region formed by the cellular modification in the distal convoluted tubule and the afferent arteriole at the location of their contact. A fall in GFR, glomerular filtration rate, can activate the JG, juxtaglomerular cells, to release renin, which can stimulate the glomerular blood flow and thereby the glomerular filtration back to normal. A comparison of the volume of filtrate formed per day, that is 180 liters per day, with that of the urine released 1.5 liters, suggests that nearly 99% of the filtrate has to be reabsorbed by the renal tubules. This process is called reabsorption. The tubular epithelial cells in different segments of nephron perform this either by active or passive mechanisms. For example, substances like glucose, amino acids, sodium, etc. in the filtrate are reabsorbed actively, whereas the nitrogenous waste are absorbed by passive transport. Reabsorption of water also occurs passively in the initial segment of the nephron, figure 19.5. During urine formation, the tubular cells secrete substances like H plus and K plus ion and ammonia in the filtrate. Tubular secretion is also an important step in urine formation, as it helps in the maintenance of ionic acid-base balance of body fluids. 19.3 Function of the tubules. Proximal convoluted tubule, or PCT. PCT is lined by a simple cuboidal breast border epithelium, which increases the surface area for reabsorption. Nearly all of the essential nutrients and 70 to 80% of the electrolytes and water are reabsorbed by this segment. PCT also helps to maintain the pH and ionic balance of the body fluids by selective secretion of hydrogen ions, ammonia, and potassium ions into the filtrate and by absorption of HCO3 bicarbonate from it. Henle's loop. Reabsorption is minimum in its ascending loop. However, this region plays a significant role in the maintenance of high osmolarity of medullary interstitial fluid. The descending limb of loop of Henle is permeable to water but almost impermeable to electrolytes. This concentrates the filtrate as it moves down. The ascending limb is impermeable to water but allows transport of electrolytes actively or passively. Therefore, as the concentrated filtrate passes upward, it gets diluted due to the passage of electrolytes to the medullary fluid. Distal convoluted tubule, DCT. Conditional reabsorption of sodium and water takes place in this segment. DCT, distal convoluted tubule, is also capable of reabsorption of HCO3 bicarbonates and selective secretion of hydrogen and potassium ions in NH3 ammonia to maintain the pH and sodium potassium balance in blood. Image shows reabsorption and secretion of major substances at different parts of the nephron. Arrow indicate the direction of movement of materials. Collecting duct. This long duct extends from the cortex of the kidney to the inner part of the medulla. Large amounts of water could be reabsorbed from this region to produce a concentrated urine. This segment allows passage of small amounts of urea into the medullary interstitium. To keep up the osmolarity, it also plays a role in the maintenance of pH and ionic balance of blood by the selective secretion of H plus and K plus ions, figure 19.5. 19.4 Mechanism of concentration of the filtrate. Mammals have the ability to produce concentrated urine. The Henle's loop and vasa recta play a significant role in this. This flow of filtrate in the two limbs of Henle loop is in opposite directions and thus forms a counter current. The flow of blood through the two limbs of vasa recta is also in a counter current pattern. The proximity between the Henle's loop and vasa recta, as well as the counter current in the help in maintaining an increasing osmolarity towards the inner medullary interstitium. That is, from 300 milliosmol milliosmol per liter in the cortex, about 1200 milliosmol per liter in the inner medulla. This gradient is mainly caused by sodium chloride and urea. Sodium chloride is transported by the ascending limb of Henle's loop, which is exchanged with the descending limb of vasa recta. Sodium chloride is returned to the interstitium by the ascending portion of vasa recta. Similarly, small amounts of urea enter the thin segment of the ascending limb of Henle's loop, which is transported back to the interstitium by the collecting tubule. The above described transport of substances facilitated by the special arrangement of Henle's loop and vasa recta is called the counter current mechanism. Figure 19.6. This mechanism helps to maintain a concentration gradient. In the medullary interstitium, presence of such interstitial gradient helps in an easy passage of water from the collecting tubule, thereby concentrating the filtrate urine. Human kidneys can produce urine nearly 4 times concentrated than the initial filtrate form. 19.5. Regulation of kidney function. The functioning of the kidney is efficiently monitored and regulated by hormonal feedback mechanism involving the hypothalamus, JG, juxtaglomerular apparatus, and to a certain extent the heart. Osmoreceptors in the body are activated by the changes in blood volume, body fluid volume, and ionic concentration. An excessive loss of fluid from the body can activate the receptors which stimulate the hypothalamus to release antidiuretic hormone ADH or vasopressin. From the neurohypophysis, ADH facilitates water reabsorption from later parts of the tubule, thereby preventing diuresis. An increase in body fluid volume can switch off the osmoreceptors and suppresses the ADH release to complete the feedback. ADH can also affect the kidney function by its constrictory effect on blood vessels. The causes an increase in blood pressure. An increase in blood pressure can increase the glomerular blood flow and thereby the GFR. The juxtaglomerular apparatus JGA plays a complex regulatory role. A fall in glomerular blood flow, glomerular blood pressure, or glomerular filtration rate can activate the JG cells to release renin. Juxtaglomerular cells to release renin, which converts angiotensinogen in blood to angiotensin 1 and further to angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2, being a powerful vasoconstrictor, increases the glomerular blood pressure and thereby GFR, glomerular filtration rate. Angiotensin 2 also activates the adrenal cortex to release aldosterone. Aldosterone causes reabsorption of sodium and water from the distal parts of the tubule. This also leads to an increase in blood pressure and glomerular filtration rate. This complex mechanism is generally known as the renin-angiotensin mechanism. An increase in blood flow to the atria of the heart can cause the release of atrial natriuretic factor ANF. ANF can cause vasodilation, dilation of blood vessels, and thereby decrease the blood pressure. ANF, atrial natriuretic factor mechanism, therefore acts as a check on the renin-angiotensin mechanism. 19.6. Micturition. Urine formed by the nephron is ultimately carried to the urinary bladder, where it is stored till a voluntary signal is given by the central nervous system CNS. This signal is initiated by the stretching of the urinary bladder as it gets filled with urine. In response, the stretched receptors on the wall of the bladder send signal to the CNS. The CNS passes on motor messages to initiate the contraction of smooth muscles of the bladder and simultaneous relaxation of the urethral sphincter, causing the release of urine. The process of release of urine is called micturition, and the neural mechanism causing it is called the micturition reflex. An adult human excretes on an average 1 to 1.5 liter of urine per day. The urine formed is a light yellow colored watery fluid which is slightly acidic, pH 6, and has a characteristic odor. On an average, 25 to 30 gram of urea is excreted out per day. Various conditions can affect the characteristics of urine. Analysis of urine helps in clinical diagnosis of many metabolic disorders as well as manufacturing of the malfunctioning of the kidney. Analysis of urine helps in clinical diagnosis of many metabolic disorders as well as malfunctioning of the kidney. For example, presence of glycosuria, and ketone bodies, ketonuria, in urine are indicative of diabetes mellitus. 19.7 Role of other organ in excretion. Other organ, the kidney, other organ other than the kidneys, lungs, liver, skin also help in the elimination of excretory waste. Our lungs remove large amount of carbon dioxide, approximately 200 ml per minute, and also significant quantities of water every day. Liver, the largest gland in our body, secretes bile containing substances like bilirubin, biliverdin, cholesterol, degraded steroid hormones, vitamins and drugs. Most of these substances ultimately pass out along digestive waste. The sweat and sebaceous gland in the skin can eliminate certain substances through their secretions. Sweat produced by the sweat gland is a watery fluid containing sodium chloride. Small amounts of urea, lactic acid, etc. through the primary function of sweat is to facilitate a cooling effect on the body surface. It also helps in the removal of some of the wastes mentioned above. Sebaceous gland eliminates certain substances like sterols, hydrocarbons and waxes through sebum. This secretion provides protective oily covering for the skin. Do you know the small amounts of nitrogenous waste could be eliminated through saliva too? 19.8 Disorders of the excretory system. Malfunctioning of kidneys can lead to accumulation of urea in blood, a condition called uremia, which is highly harmful and may lead to kidney failure. In such patients, urea can be removed by a process called hemodialysis. Blood drained from a convenient artery is pumped into a dialysing unit after adding an anticoagulant like heparin. The unit contains a coiled cellophane tube surrounded by a dialysing fluid, having the same composition as that of plasma except the nitrogenous waste. The porous cellophane membrane of the tube allows the passage of molecules based on concentration gradient. As nitrogenous waste are absent in the dialysing fluid, these substances freely move out, thereby clearing the blood. The cleared blood is pumped back to the body through a vein after adding antiheparin to it. This method is boom for thousands of uremic patients all over the world. Kidney transplantation is the ultimate method in the correction of acute renal failures, kidney failure. A functioning kidney is used in transplantation from a donor, preferably a close relative, to minimize its chances of rejection by the immune system of the host. Modern clinical procedures have increased the success rate of success, a complicated technique. Renal calculus, stone or insoluble mass of crystallized salts, oxalates, etc., formed within the kidney. Glomerulonephritis, inflammation of the glomeruli of kidney. Summary: many nitrogen containing substances, ions, carbon dioxide, water, etc., that accumulate in the body have to be eliminated. Nature of nitrogenous waste formed and their excretion vary among animals, mainly depending on the habitat, availability of water. Ammonia, urea, and uric acid are the major nitrogenous waste excreted. Nephridia, Malpighian tubules, green glands, and kidneys are the common excretory organs in animals. They not only eliminate nitrogenous waste but also help in the maintenance of ionic and acid base balance of the body fluids. In humans, the excretory system consists of one pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, a urinary bladder, and a urethra. Each kidney has over a million of tubular structures called nephrons. Nephron is the functional unit of kidney and has two portions, glomerulus and renal tubules. Glomerulus is a tuft of capillaries formed from afferent arterioles, fine branches of renal artery. The renal tubule starts with a double-walled Bowman's capsule and is further differentiated into a proximal convoluted tubule, PCT, Henle's loop, HL, and distal convoluted tubule, DCT. The DCT of many nephrons join to a common collecting duct, many of which ultimately open into the renal pelvis through the medullary pyramids. The Bowman's capsule encloses the glomerulus to form Malpighian or renal corpuscle. Urine formation involves three main processes, that is filtration, absorption, and secretion. Filtration is a non-selective process performed by the glomerulus using the glomerular capillary blood pressure. About 1200 ml of blood is filtered by glomerulus per minute to form 125 ml of filtrate in the Bowman's capsule per minute, GFR. JGA, juxtaglomerular apparatus, a specialized portion of the nephrons, play a significant role in the regulation of GFR, glomerular filtration rate. Nearly 99% reabsorption of the filtrate takes place through different parts of the nephron. PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, is the major site of reabsorption and selective secretion. HL primarily helps to maintain the osmolar gradient, 300 milliosmol per liter to 1200 milliosmol per liter within the kidney interstitium. DCT, distal convoluted tubule, and collecting duct also allow extensive reabsorption of water and certain electrolytes, which help in osmoregulation. H plus and K plus and ammonia could be secreted into the filtrate by tubules to maintain the ionic balance and pH of body fluids. A counter current mechanism operates between the two limbs of the loop of Henle and those of vasa recta capillary parallel to Henle's loop. The filtrate gets concentrated as it moves down the descending limb but is diluted by the ascending limb. Electrolytes and urea are retained in the interstitium by this arrangement. DCT, distal convoluted tubule, and collecting duct concentrate the filtrate about 4 times, that is from 300 milliosmol per liter to 1200 milliosmol per liter. An excellent mechanism of conservation of water, urine is stored in the urinary bladder till a voluntary signal from CNS carries out its release through urethra, that is micturition. Skin, lungs, and liver also assist in excretion. Thank you.